Ready. Yep. Just push it on the back of the handle, then grab it.
Oh, got it.
Perfect.
My husband has one of these, and it does not work the same way.
Yeah, it's probably the S or the X.
I'm just like, I can never figure it out. And I drive an e-tron, so I'm all fans of the electric car situation.
The e-tron SUV or the
SUV. Yep.
Nice. What's your opinion on it?
I love it. It's great.
Have you had it long?
Yeah, I got, so mine's the edition one, so it was one of the first whatever produced.
Sure.
We have 2 little kids, so I like having it for like the extra room for the car seats.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it a 5-seater? Or?
Yeah, it's just one row up in the back. And so actually, we're on the list for Rivian SUV.
Oh yeah, R1S.
I just need, I mean, like my parents were visiting us over Christmas, and I was like, okay, Mom, do you want to like crawl over a car seat and sit in the middle? Like, it's just a lot.
Yeah.
The car seat issue is a big one, so we'll see. We just got an update that if we want to keep our Rivian, it'll be delivered between like January and March next year.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
I was gonna say 7-seater Model Y. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a Model Y.
You do?
Yeah, and it's fantastic. We had the 5-seater, but yeah.
I didn't like that. I felt like it just, like, when my husband test drove it, I felt like I sat in the back seat and I was like, this is not at all comfortable. It felt like a very like non-padded seat situation.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like,
these have some of the most comfortable seats. Yeah, they're engineered to eliminate pressure points in the body.
Interesting. I mean, when I did it, I was like, not my favorite.
Would you sit in the the 3rd row or the second?
No, the second row.
Oh.
But the e-tron, like when we got the e-tron, they're like, okay, it's like made to be an Audi first, an electric car second. So it's very like. So I feel like Teslas are all like technology first, car second, and my car is like car first, technology second. So
I would argue your car is leather seats first, car second.
But the thing about it is like my car has such lower mileage than these.
I was gonna ask that actually.
Yeah.
You get about 200 miles? Or?
Yeah, and we live in Minnesota. We're in Minneapolis.
Cold.
Yeah, and so in the winter, my car is like 180.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
yeah, the Model Y's heat pump gets around that. It doesn't really lose any range in the cold.
Yeah, so it's like, and our garage is insulated and whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, we live 12 miles outside the city. Like, we don't drive anywhere for the most part.
I gotcha.
That like needs. So I don't even charge my car every day. But like, if we have to go someplace that's multiple hours away, we take the Tesla.
Yeah. The supercharging network's pretty unbeatable.
Yeah, that's the thing too, right? Because you can charge so much more quickly.
And they're a lot more abundant. There are some really good EVs coming out, but without the supercharging network reliability.
That's the problem. Is like we really need a lot more chargers to come out.
You know what? The quick solution would be if somebody at Audi grew a brain and said, let's use the Tesla charging connector.
Well, yeah. It also feels like we should just like have one charger.
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean,
one standard.
Of what it is, there should just be a standard plug that like, because in our garage we have both my charger and we have a Tesla charger.
I'll say that everyone should have switched to Tesla because look at that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's already fully built out.
Well,
no, this is the country. This is the whole country. Yeah. Look at that. No, that's Florida all the way up through the northern states.
I mean, even when we went up to a cabin up north over like a long weekend for like we could easily supercharge. Yes, no,
Rivian's supposed to actually like put their chargers kind of in more outdoorsy adventure spots.
Yeah,
eventually.
I mean, that's right. It really should just be like one standard charger.
Agreed.
I fully agree with that.
And then they could all invest and make it spread faster.
Well, right, because I mean, Volkswagen is supposed to be as part of their like diesel, like horrible.
Yeah, they're slap on the wrist for everything.
They're supposed to be like investing in.
They're trying to
electrify America and all that. But
it was like a year ago. They're trying to sell it. They're trying to get rid of it, like put it on somebody else.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, that's awesome way to build confidence and electrify America.
Yeah.
There's plans from Rivian, from Ford, from the VW group to all like start building out chargers, and it's like, all right, guys, we can think smart, work smart, not hard, and just put your pride aside and
so it's interesting.
Team up.
Oh, that guy is zooming.
Oh yeah.
So I was watching TV in the room this morning, and they were showing like previews of Super Bowl commercials, and there's going to be one with Will Ferrell, and it's like in conjecture. It's like one of the U.S. manufacturers. I think it might be Ford or whatever, Ford, Chevy, whatever, and Netflix, and it's talking about like how Netflix is going to start representing
EVs.
Yeah.
Hopefully they forget GM and just focus on Ford and the others.
But I was like, that's interesting, and it's funny because it was like cute because they're like, then they show like an EV in like Bridgerton, and they're like, wrong era. Like we didn't actually have cars.
That's funny.
Yes. So I was like, well, that's like, but yeah, I mean.
I was really rooting for the whole Volkswagen group for the longest time until the morons got rid of Herbert Diess.
Yeah.
I mean, he was basically Volkswagen and Audi and everybody's Elon Musk, and they didn't like how much he was pushing the electric side, and they hired some new guy from the Porsche family.
Elon is I don't love the Tesla because, in part because Elon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, he's just gone off the deep end with his Twitter and his right wing.
Right wing?
Yes, when he's like, we need to have Trump back on Twitter, and.
Well, he never said that. He said that he likely will come back, but he didn't, like, I don't know, parade like he's in favor of it.
Didn't he say, like, Kanye, Trump, Elon? Wasn't that like his tweet?
No.
Or he retweeted it or something. I don't know. I just feel like the things I've heard lately, I'm like, can we just like I liked it when you were a little more quiet.
Yeah, I mean, he said you'd know he's doing a good job when he's pissing off the left and the right. Which he is, both sides are angry. That's because Elon is a centrist. He's not right or left.
Yeah, but neither am I.
Yeah, same here. Well, if you really look at like the actual substance to his tweets and not the noise from everyone who's, melting, then you realize there's a lot less noise than you thought there was.
Yeah.
I mean, he's saving Twitter. Twitter's not out of the water yet. But, man, like all of the Tesla investors, I say loosely, that were crying because, Tesla stock's going down because he was focusing on Twitter, the whole Twitter distraction narrative. It just made me laugh. So I'm like, nothing's changed with Tesla, guys. Fundamentals as a company, like, they're as good as they've always been.
Yeah, I think it's more the, well, I also think he fucks around with their stock a lot in ways that, the SEC has noticed, but.
Yeah, there's a lot of those noisy allegations, too, that, I mean, an example is that he actually decided to go to court and snuff it out, and he did. Most people in his position would just settle. To avoid the optics.
100%, yeah.
But if there's one thing you can count, and this might not sound right to you, but try to find a time he's actually lied or BS'd somebody. Like, literally, like, try to actually find that instead of just, like, what people say,
Yeah,
Because, I mean, being the whole richest guy in the world and the optics that he has and the amount of followers he has, there's always going to be people that are pissed off or bent out of shape because of something he said on Twitter, but he's human. The fact that he's revolutionized the rock industry, the EV industry, like, we wouldn't have all these EVs if he didn't drag the automotive market.
I agree with that.
So it's like, I give him a pass because he says something silly on Twitter.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
don't you think that, like, Bezos and Musk and everyone should, like, do more with their money than send rockets up into space?
Well, that's a multifaceted question. If it wasn't for the space industry, we wouldn't have most of the technology we have now making the world a better place, including medical and everything else. You can layer that with the fact that the whole narrative that a lot of the hard left was trying to say he doesn't do his fair share. He paid more taxes than anybody in the history of the world in 1 year with over $11 billion. I mean, he donated an extra $200 million to St. Jude's Memorial after the Inspiration 4 mission that sent up the 4 civilians in space. So the whole idea was to raise that money for St. Jude's, and he matched it. He's like, well, all right, I'll throw in an extra $200 million to that charity. You know, it's there is a lot of noise, again, especially from the very hard left that want to paint him as a villain, as a rich guy. Bezos I can't really speak on as much because I mean he's not as much in the atmosphere, or not the atmosphere, but in the public eye, because he's not as open and blunt and available as Elon is.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I don't subscribe to the idea that rich person bad, or because I don't have what they have, they should give everybody else more.
No,
You know,
I agree with that. I mean, believe me,
it's almost like
the people who pay the most taxes are the people who earn their income.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, if you're not the hedge fund, you're not raking in investments where you're paying the lower like cap gains rates and all of that.
Oh yeah.
Then your
capital gains tax is a monster.
W2 income will always be the most taxed income. And so like I don't disagree, and I certainly feel like W2 income earners pay more than their fair share of taxes, especially, I mean, so full disclosure, I'm a tax attorney.
Mm-hmm.
And I work in-house at a company, and like my job is to like manage our tax risk, right? So like, I also am like, I'm not a f***ing surgeon. No one will die if I suck at my job, but I'm good at my job.
It's good to have pride in your work, though. Yeah.
No, I'm like good at my job, but like also no one's gonna die if I fail at my job. So, but that being said, yeah, there's a lot of up things with our tax code, and a lot of companies should be paying a lot more on taxes.
You might not know this as a funny thing, just mentioning the W-2 and earned income, but you know, from Tesla and SpaceX, Elon doesn't take a paycheck. He actually doesn't earn any money in any traditional sense from Tesla or SpaceX. He actually, all of his value is tied in the value of the company. That's the only reason he is the richest guy in the world.
And that's why he had to take a loan out against his stock to buy Twitter.
Yep, and I mean, as another example, I think all he has as far as living quarters right now is the $50,000 box house down in Brownsville, Texas, next to the SpaceX factory where they're working on Starship.
Interesting.
I mean, he's definitely not the idea of rich very much so a philanthropist. God, I just think about the good that, you know, Tesla and everything is doing for the world. But yeah, all that aside, a lot of people don't realize that doesn't even get paid by Tesla or anything. It's an interesting, multifaceted story.
It is a very interesting discussion and story. But like you said, I feel like Elon and the other manufacturers need to get together and be like, okay, we're gonna figure this out together. And
I agree. Yeah.
Around, and because like I know the Teslas come with the charger that adapts to the other one, but like my car can't plug into a Tesla.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You know,
the only car company I know of that isn't really out yet, called Aptera. They're a 3-wheeled vehicle, and they're actually planning to use the Tesla supercharger network. They have the same connector and everything, and the ability to team up has been around since like 2012. When the Model S first got all of its awards, Elon came out and said, hey, we don't have any patents or walled gardens in that sense. Like, copy us, join us with the superchargers, let's go. But of course, Legacy Auto just starts laughing. Ha ha, little Tesla, you'll never go anywhere.
And now we're all, listen, I'm all for, like, I have 2 kids at home. I'm all for, let's not kill the planet.
Right. I almost forget sometimes that it's like, oh yeah, it's also good for the planet, because they're so high tech and fun and fast and safe and like all the bonuses, and it's like, oh yeah, it's also green.
It's also
a
really great idea for us to like not kill the planet.
Ooh, easy there, Priest.
I mean, Minnesota just came out. Our governor just said we're going to be 0 emissions by 2040.
Oof.
So we'll see how that goes.
Well, hey, at least the goal is there, even if it is a good
than,
20 years out.
I mean, it's better than a lot of people are doing, right?
That's fair. Yeah. No, you're very right about that.
I know, California is great. That you guys lead.
Well, if the government can actually keep up with it. This government's a mess. Just hold the top button there. and then push.
Again, I don't know how to.
I know, it's weird.
They
They can't just have normal doors.
Make it work. I need a wave. I just need a sensor.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right, that was a good Elon conversation, and we have a next customer right here. So we'll catch you guys in the next video.